Now to discuss internal medicine physician Dr. Lipi Roy and former New York Republican nominee for Senate Joe Pinion. Pleasure to have you both on. So, Joe, I'm going to start with you on this. Joe Biden says she'd never seen anything like that before and thereafter, which after the fact, I guess, you know, who cares? He's not the president anymore. But I think we all saw things happening, like falling down all over the place, shaking nobody's hands, stuttering, stammering on the mic. We had seen that for months and months.
I mean, look, it's either she's lying to herself, she's lying to the country, or she hasn't been paying much attention to her husband, because we all saw it. We saw a man that was clearly in decline, who couldn't walk down the beach, who fell off of bicycles, who couldn't articulate sentences, who was stuttering as if somehow he had a serious impediment. And so it was not a happy moment. It was a sad moment because I didn't vote for him, but he was my president. He was the president of the United States of America. He was the commander-in-chief of our armed forces. And we still haven't gotten the answer to the question, who was running the country? Yeah. Because the man that was before us on that debate stage stammering about Medicaid and Medicare clearly did not have the faculties to execute that job.
And I think what you used the word sad, Joe, and I think what is sad is that this is a man, whether you agreed with his politics or not, who had a long, illustrious political career. That was his identity. He served the American people for a very, very long time. And the fact that whomever it was behind the scenes allowed him to get to that point. A lot of insiders, they do insist that it was Jill Biden. Of course, we can't confirm that, but it just is something that is sad. And I want to go more broadly here, Doctor. Sometimes when someone is aging or exhibiting signs of some sort of dementia or challenging mental faculties, is that something that you do potentially see family members ignore because they don't want to admit it to themselves?
Yeah, and you all mentioned the word sad. As a doctor, it's always sad for me to see somebody present with those kind of symptoms. So you saw from that clip, President Biden exhibited confusion, some speech problems, memory problems. All of that can be many things, many diseases can cause that, stroke being one of them. Other neurodegenerative diseases can cause all those symptoms. But when you're a family member who doesn't have formal medical training, you don't know. And I can see why former First Lady Jill Biden was concerned. I would be too, and I'm a doctor. I just want to make sure your viewers know that if you ever see someone, a loved one, someone you know that's exhibiting, think of FAST, F-A-S-T. This is when you should call a doctor. Facial drooping, arm weakness, especially on one side, speech problems, as well as headache. Then the T is time. Time is brain. Do not hesitate. Call 911 immediately. Because it could be a stroke, and they need immediate intervention. First thing that's done in the ED is a head CT to rule out stroke or to diagnose it. So just want to make sure people know that.
I think anyone who's got an aging grandparent or parent who has had cognitive decline, it was obvious. So we're just rehashing an old conversation. Now Joe Biden is admitting, well, I thought something was wrong. Doc, I want you to talk about this cancer diagnosis that Joe Biden has. And I'm very sorry that he has that. You don't want to see anybody be sick with that. But if stage 4, that announcement shortly came out after he left the office.
Hey, Bob, you know what I'd love to do? We actually had Dr. Ben Carson on last week, and we asked him a question about this, so I want to get your opinion on that one. See what he said. A retired neurosurgeon. There we go, Ben Carson.
I got my care there when I was in the cabinet, and it was superb. It was the best care available. It's not second to any. And they go through all that, and they do some scans, and anything that might be hidden that could be caught early. So they are very fine physicians, nurses, practitioners, all kind of great people there.
So I guess, Doc, our question is, and Katrina and I have been talking about this for a couple of days, is that somebody within the administration, Joe Biden, Jill, whoever it is, they had to have known ahead of time he had cancer and they were going to run him again for maybe 4 more years in the White House.
So it depends. So cancer is not just one disease. I always remind people cancer is multiple types of diseases. Stage 4 means that it's metastatic, it's spreading, but different cancers can impact different parts of your body. It could affect your thinking or not. It just depends on the cancer, the progression, and the individual.
But I think quickly, just before we do have to go, but also that again, a scan would have showed he had cancer, but it was not, and especially stage 4, but it was not announced while he was still planning to run. So I think that's what we're looking at. To the public, precisely. All right. We're going to have to leave it there. We appreciate the insight. All right, Joe Pinion and Dr. Lipi Roy, thank you.